Hi everybody, in this video I'm going to do something different. I'm going to critique a Black Sabbath song as a fan. Ozzy just passed away, and it was weird because the last 2 weeks, before Ozzy passed away, it kept popping into my mind, I want to do something different, like mix it up a little bit, and I want to do, critiquing a Black Sabbath song actually as a tribute to Black Sabbath. And it kept popping up into my mind time and time again in the last 2 weeks, but I couldn't record it because I was traveling in Canada. And then he passed away, so, I'm just going to go ahead with it. But what my original intent is to do this. And now that Ozzy's passed away, it's gotten a different dimension, of course. I'm just going to critique, the song as I see it. I'm a musician. I've played in a heavy metal band. I've been a fan of Ozzy. So yeah, let's go ahead. So I'm just going to play the song, and of course, and it's going to be the Black Sabbath song, the first defining metal song, in my opinion. One of the first defining metal songs. So I'm going to start playing the song. And of course you have the iconic intro, with the thunder and the rain as it comes up. Let's just listen here. Let's just play. I'm just going to fast forward also sometimes during the song because I'm not going to play the whole song. So let's just wait till that iconic beginning. So immediately, this you got to see it in this came out in 1970. We didn't have heavy metal then. We didn't have any kind of music like that. It's just now we're so used to it. Now we have all these different genres of metal. We got extreme music now, but this was extreme as it came out. Look, it just sounds incredibly heavy for that time. And there's videos of the public, of shows that they did, and the public now they're headbanging and stuff and going crazy, but they're just watching it, and you could see the public couldn't know what to make of it. And when it first came out, they were trashed by the reviewers. They were trashed by the Rolling Stone magazine that says, this is BS. But they had a vision and they kept going at it, and they started a whole new genre because they stuck to their vision, which is truly amazing. It's just crazy how heavy it still sounds after 50 years. And being a guitarist, I know that it sounds so like, that was their Black Sabbath. It's like dark and broody. And he uses the tritone, so the down, down. So that's the tritone which he uses, which is, called the Devil's Interval because it sounds a little bit evil. Just Tony Iommi guitar sounding super heavy. It's just an amazing classic song. Now let's take a listen to Ozzy's vocals.
What is this that stands before me? Figure in black, which points at...
What sounds amazing to me is that his voice sounds so mature. I mean, Ozzy was I think he's born in 22, 23. He has a very, very mature voice, and his voice fits. This is, they say, some people just click together in a band, and I've noticed that in bands that I played myself. And, with Black Sabbath, it just all clicks together, Of course, because they're all like virtuosos. I mean, Tony Iommi is an absolute wizard on guitar. His sound is amazing. And, he can invent these super heavy riffs, and they played in E standard tuning, but still, nowadays, a lot of metal bands tune down to D, C, even B to sound more heavy. But these guys sounded heavy just because of Tony Iommi's riffs in just standard E tuning. It's just amazing. And then the little trills he does. It's just it's amazing music. Very, very moody, very, very atmospheric. And I like the rawness of Ozzy's voice here. There's albums in in his recent work where he sings a lot higher, but here he sings more in the low registers, which I think sounds pretty good for him. He had a huge range. In later Black Sabbath albums, he sung very high. I think like Black Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath. He had a very high voice, and here he sings more lower. And personally, I prefer Ozzy's lower registers more. So I'm gonna fast forward now a little bit till because we're not going to listen to the whole song till the more fast part, so where the song changes. And see, when it comes in, it's so heavy.
As in the end, my friend.
And I have to say, you know, I'm listening, of course, on my laptop here, but I have the original, the LP, you know, the record. So, you know, before CDs, and it just sounds so much better if you play it like on a record, like on a 7-inch. It's you know, you can really hear the bass because Geezer Butler, also an amazing bass player. I mean, he played with his fingers. And so this is the part where it starts to pick up. So they always had that dynamic going on, which I personally really love. So, you know, it doesn't stay slow, so they pick up speed some. Absolutely amazing. Sounds absolutely great. The guitar tone of Tony Iommi, I mean, you know, the tone comes from the amp, but also comes a lot from the fingers and the playing style, most of it, I would say. And it just sounds amazing. Now his Tony Iommi solo, you know, he's a master of the pentatonic scale. So Tony Iommi, you know, because I play guitar, I know my way around the scales. I've been a solo player too in a band. And he really is a master player in the pentatonic scale. Sometimes he throws some extra notes in there, like the Aeolian, the minor scale he throws in there. Mostly it's very pentatonic with Tony Iommi. And you know, he just plays it perfectly. His bends, the fluidity with which he plays is just defining. And I think a lot of this has to do with the fact that, you know, he got his fingers chopped off. I mean, most guitarists, through a work accident, most guitarists would give up, right? But he just invented like rubber fingertips. And I think it really influenced his playing a lot. That's why he has such a unique style, is because, you know, he lost the tips of his fingers and he put, you know, his own handmade rubber fingertips on it. So it just sounds amazing. So yeah, so that's it. So a little tribute to Black Sabbath and to Ozzy, because, you know, as I said, I was planning to do this and then Ozzy died. So it's just amazing. Again, bring yourself back to the 70s, and they came out with this heavy music that's was going to spawn so many genres and define music for so many years. It's just absolutely amazing, absolutely trailblazers. And he was just three poor guys, you know, from England that did it, you know, that made it big because of their raw talent and their vision, which they stuck to. So absolutely amazing. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in another video. Bye-bye.